Good morning everybody. As you can see, we're out doing a ploughing contract at the moment and it's raining very heavily. We got up quite early this morning and we've done a couple of sowing contracts already. We avoided any harvest contracts because if we were in the middle of a harvest or not finished a harvest, by the time it started raining we'd be stuck with that contract until we could complete it, and we didn't want to be in that position. We needed to be able to get some contracts done during the rain still, so we picked contracts that can be done whilst it's raining. We do still have to take racer out. Not something I'm particularly looking forward to at the moment. So we'll see how that goes, but it has to be done. We are looking to sell grapes as well today that we harvested yesterday. There's quite a good price I think for the moment for white grapes. Red grapes, the price is still going up. I think once we finish this field, the plan is to go sell the white grapes. We'll see if the price for red grapes has stabilised, and then of course we've got to go take racer out. First we'll get this field done and then we'll have lunch as well. We just skipped any breakfast to get an early start to start getting some money in. Missing a few bits here and there, but it's fine. So this is my favourite plough because it's just nice and straight. I don't have to keep turning it when I get to the end. So with this plough I actually do quite enjoy doing ploughing. It makes it quite nice and simple, and even I can't go totally wrong with this piece of kit. My tractor is needing a bit of maintenance, something that we'll also look to do when we get back to the farm, if I remember. At some point today anyway, at least. But for now it's still running fine. If we were to be running any less than 10 miles an hour, then it would definitely need to have good tune-up. So I had a bit of an issue yesterday, well not an issue, I forgot to, for the first time in a while actually, so you know, to turn my mic back on after I'd switched off for some reason or other. I think because of some background noise. And I was waffling away about the yields for the grapes. And of course you wouldn't have heard any of that because I hadn't had my mic on, so I actually just cut that sequence a little bit because there was no point in me just sitting there in silence. So what I was saying was basically that there's no evidence that fertiliser makes any difference to the yield. There is evidence, or there appears to be evidence now, just you know, I'll caveat this by saying yes, it's not a proper experiment, that lime does make a difference to the yield. If I look back at the first sort of section of grapes which we replanted and limed, etc., and we did fertilise them, to be honest, the fertiliser, they don't appear to be taking up the fertiliser, it seems to be excess fertiliser to them, so they're clearly probably getting enough from in the nitrogen in the actual soil itself, and don't need any additional availability of nitrogen. So they went up when we first lined them, basically, as you say, and since then I think it's so that was after the first one we had a little bit higher, and then the next one it went down, and this one, the latest one, it was down again, the yield. So I think we have limed it. We have limed it again, and so it'll be interesting to see if it goes back up again after we have now limed it once more. Because I think you get 3 harvests before you have to put lime back on the field again. The others are pretty much showing the same, although the latter two, the last one of the grapes and the red grapes, have only just had their first lime put on, but no fertiliser, and they were both certainly up on their yield as well. So I'll continue to keep an eye on it and to monitor it to a certain degree or other. I'll certainly have a quick look after the next time I harvest the ones I've just added lime on again to see whether it goes back up to where it did after the first liming or not. But the other thing I think to bear in mind is that ploughing or not ploughing can also have an impact on yield in this place. So, and of course we're not ploughing after each harvest and re-sowing them, because that would just be nuts and not just a waste of time and resources basically. So they do have a ploughed state on them as soon as you harvest them after you first sow them, and that will just remain, and yes, that will possibly impact the yield to some degree as well as some percentage. And we might be able to see that on the first couple of rows where we did replant and re-plough them and re-sow them. I kind of said that plant and sow is the same thing, but you know what I mean. And so we will see if it's down any from that point to not having ploughed them this time, and not planning to plough them anytime soon, apart from those couple of rows. I think there might be 2 or 3 rows I'll redo in the second section at some point when I get around to it, due to them not being at the correct spacing for the machine. And I can still harvest them as they are, but it's not perfect. So that's where we're at in terms of how the grapes are doing yield wise. So yeah. Chickens, they're starting to produce some eggs slowly. They do need cleaning, but I haven't got anything to clean them with as yet. I will need to buy a brush at some point, or I could just put the bucket in front of this for now and do it that way. That might be what I end up doing for now until I can get a brush. I'm certainly not going up to the store, because in my little veranda, as I call it, to pick up a brush, because it hasn't got a roof. So yeah, we will wait until after it stops raining at some point, and we'll nip up to the store and grab ourselves a brush. It's the simplest way, I think, to clean out the animals. It will impact their production until I do get it cleaned, so as I say, I may pop down and just put the bucket on the front of here to the front loader and get that done. That's same contract finished, but we will actually quickly do another line just to, you know, get it, pardon me, just done, forget what I am, just do it, yeah. We will try and get some more contracts done too. Okay. So a few things again. Today's as I say, I think much of the day will be taken up with contracts. I don't know if the, I don't think the grapes are going to be ready for harvest today, in time today. There we go. We shall just quickly collect on that contract. That's it. What have we got? I'm just thinking about, yeah, sprayer. I'm considering doing a spraying contract because not too big a one, perhaps. I might accept that one. I think I've got some weeds coming up in my potatoes which are a bit further on, and so I can't hoe. I think they appeared overnight and I didn't get to them in time. It probably won't work the sprayer on my plot because it's probably just going to tell me that the machine's contract worked only, but you know, I might just give it a shot. So you know, that contract should sit there now till I get some lunch and get up and do a few other bits and bobs, including taking Racer out and selling off the grapes. Oh, my potatoes are ready, but there's no way I'm going to be harvesting in this weather, and there's probably no point in spraying off the weeds now. I mean, there's not a lot, there's just a few up here and stuff, but there is, yeah, the weed percentage is a bit variable depending on where you stand in this little plot. It's a bit weird that way, so yeah. And my potatoes have fallen over again. The stuffs keep falling over here and I don't know, not quite sure why they're falling over. Picking them up is a bit of a pain, but I'll deal with that later. I'm going to just quickly come over here, park up here, and I'll go grab a little bit of lunch. Okay, we'll see you in a bit. Right, let us go and sell some white grapes. The red grape price still hasn't stabilised. The price for potatoes is actually going up at the moment, so that's a bit of good news as well, although we can't get that lot harvested, which would have been nice to give us a bit of extra money today, but and I shall jump in here. I need to move the vehicle that's in here out the road. Around enough and reverse out there. This also needs a bit of tuning up, and I'd like to do it before the next harvest. At the moment, the only place I can tune this is up at the specialist garage at the shop, until I can afford to put one of my own in place. Where this I can tune up right here on the farm at the little toolbox that I've got, and come out the other side. I'll try and remember and do just that. Right, white grapes is what we want. There we go. We've got probably a couple of journeys. We are going to go to Johnston Supply, which I believe is here. It is here. So that's where we're heading to with our first load of white grapes. So it's not a bad price. I'll just quickly see if I can tune this up while I'm here. Yep, there we go. Very quick, these tuning things. Just turn around here. And we'll head up to get these sold. I mean, last night, I don't know if you remember, yesterday evening, I was harvesting the barley field just in front of the house there, just opposite the farm. Mostly to see if I could get some barley for more barley for the chickens, and we did. Did we get over 7,000 litres? So we certainly have enough in stock now to do our little chickens quite some time. So that's quite good to know. Boop, 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 boop. Certainly was happy with that amount of leftovers, shall we say. So we've put that in the silo. The chickens have currently got enough there, so we're not going to run out of barley anytime soon, but they will continue to reproduce in numbers as well, and as they do, they will of course need a bit more food. So we keep an eye on that, and if we get the odd contract here and there for harvesting barley, we'll take it until we can afford to possibly have a field of our own. I'm still thinking of how I want to, how I'm planning this farm out, really. I'm not entirely sure exactly what I want to do. I mean, I'm quite happy plodding along just now with what we've got for the most part. Do I do less sort of arable farming and focus more just on the grapes and the animals? And therefore, if I get a field, it would just be to help feed the animals, to bring in produce for the animals. Sheep would be the easiest thing for producing wool, and we're not short of grass around here, so I can always, you know, get enough land in which to mow the grass, even mow the grass that the sheep are in if need be. So a few things to think of there. Certainly my first step would be to buy that plot of land that I've been thinking of buying for a while near my house, and certainly to start getting some sheep in there, depending on whether the decision is to carry on this system or to move to the seasons or not will also impact that as well, and how we think about that a bit more. I'm just thinking it could just be something different and just less arable farming, or less, even more mixed, but possibly looking to keep the grapes growing, and maybe even at some point extending the grapes that we have, the number of grape fields that we have, and focusing on having some animals, you know, some sheep and a bit of dairy cattle possibly. And as I say, maybe 1 or 2 small fields, you know, like size of 24 and 25, which is coming up on our right hand side there. You'll see them there on the GPS. Well, 25 and 24 is just above it. They're roughly about the same size, and just having those for, you know, our crops, for the animal feed and stuff. So, you know. And at some point, of course, we would like to have someone come and work for us full time. At the very least 1, if not 2 people, once we get to that point where we can afford to do so without any worries. I mean, I do occasionally like to be able to hire people now. I certainly did when I was doing some other work, I think I hired somebody to complete a contract for me, so that was handy. Right, let's have a quick look at the red. The red have now stabilised. They're just going to be one load. So we will demand at barn. I don't think I've got anything to sell to the barn. So we'll go back now and pick up the red grapes and take them along to be sold. And I wasn't paying any attention to what I was getting money-wise there. I just know that we've roughly 20,000 perhaps overall, I think. Somebody, you may have noticed it better than I did, because I was too busy waffling, of course. So you may have noticed what we got for the white grapes there. In terms of money. Much rain. So yeah, my plan is once I've sold these grapes, we are going to take Racer out. And then we'll go and do that contract that we already sort of pre-accepted before lunch. We accepted before lunch for the spraying, but as I say now, it doesn't really matter because potatoes are ready for harvest. So, but to be fair, I really don't think it would have worked. I think it would have told me nah. Sometimes you can use, occasionally you could use stuff for contracts, but it's usually transport side of things, like I did with the lorry and trailer last time when I borrowed that, but it won't tend to let me use stuff that's specifically for use on the field. It just normally says nope, nope, and yeah, it's fair enough. So this place is a bit further away, and it's fine. I think also once we've taken Racer out and done that contract, we'll look at the time, and I don't think we'll work too late tonight. Possibly, we'll see. If it dries up, we might do something else, but it's not looking like it's going to be dry in the next few hours, certainly. So yeah, well. I do like the sound of the rain, especially sitting inside the tractor. And I'm slowly, and I will say slowly, starting to learn the roads around here and how to get to places quickly. It's quickish. I still think I get a bit lost up at the animal dealership, but I still end up wandering around in there and trying to figure out how to get in and out. It's not so bad coming from this direction. I think it's when I'm trying to come back through it that I tend to miss it, especially in the dark, even though it's got that big bull sort of entrance area. I'll get there eventually. Right, let's pay a little bit of attention if I can to see how much we get. It's not a full load. This is the yield that we got from the red grapes, which is a couple of thousand up in what we've had previously, if I remember rightly. So here we go. There we go, it's not bad, almost 15,000. So we're quite happy with that. we're getting to a point where we might actually be able to start thinking about buying that land and getting the sheep in. In fact, that might be something, given the weather, that we can maybe do later today. Again, we'll see how the time goes. I'm not sure I want to be doing sheep in the dark, but I think that area we were looking at was about 75,000. It was the cheapest bit, so yeah, I think it's possible that we might put some sheep in there quite soon then. Let's see, we've got one more contract, so that will take us over. Of course, we've got to buy the sheep and stuff, but even so, I think that'll be the next thing. And I've taken a wrong turn somewhere, clearly. And it's that's the shop, so I have to go right up here, I think. Turned right too quickly. So yeah, so sheep, definitely I'll have them in place, I think, for tomorrow. Or we'll do that tomorrow. They don't need too much, thankfully, in the way of anything really. I just need some grass, which I think I've got. Well, I've got a little bit of hay, of course, in that we collected for the horses, so I can use some of that for the sheep, and I could actually, when the weather's a little bit better again, quickly mow some grass around the back of the house, etc. And hay, turn that to hay, and we might just do that tomorrow. So we can get that. I mean, I can just mow it, the grass, actually. I can mow grass when it's wet and just collect that in and give it straight to the sheep. I don't even have to turn it to hay, but I kind of prefer to give them hay than just straightforward grass, you know. If it's still raining tomorrow, under there they'll just be getting grass. Okay, we'll drop this off, and the next bit we're not so looking forward to so much as taking Racer out in this weather, but it's got to be done. His value's going up a bit. I'll show you that in a second. It goes up to if we take them out each day and feed them. Let's have a quick look at that. So come down to Racer, and so seeing 0 for daily riding, and yeah, he's now worth just over 27,000, and he's 55% there basically from where we're going to sell it. So that's all good. So we'll go and jump on Racer and take him out, and we'll see you shortly. Okay, as you might expect, I am slightly damp, so I'm going to drop off Racer, give him a quick brush if I can. Too bad, I guess, because it's raining, so I can keep him a bit cleaner. And then I'm going to go jump in the shower to warm up a bit, because and get properly dried off, probably get myself a hot cup of coffee, and then we'll come back out and we'll finish off. We'll get that contract done that we pre-booked for the spraying. I've decided that yeah, I am going to get sheep. That'll probably be tomorrow morning. That's the other thing I'm going to do. I'm going to make a couple of phone calls, get the land, sort out getting the sheep and the I need for them. So that's it. The decision is made. Okay, Racer, let's get off you. Back in the stables. Where have you gone? Somewhere. Oh, there he is. I'll wait till he settles. Give him a quick brush, because trying to brush him while moving, as you've seen previously, is not an easy thing to do. There we go. So turn the light on, you can see the dirt. Give him a quick brush down. He doesn't mind the rain so much. And then I'm going to run over here. I'm going to have to go up to the store to collect. Actually, that's what I'll do. I'll bring this tractor over near the house, because I'm going to have to go up to the store to collect the other vehicle to do the other job. And yeah, I can't. I'm not taking the scooter or the Miranda, because I'll just get soaked. So this is what. So we'll take the tractor over to try and help us keep a bit drier. Okay, we'll see you in about, hopefully about half an hour. Once I've had, I'll get some clean clothes, and then we'll go shower. And there's a towel there as well, and we'll see you in a little bit. Oh, that is so much better now that I'm nice dry. I'm just going to put the kettle on, and I'll put the kettle on, put the coffee pot on, and again we'll see you and make a quick phone call. So we'll catch you in another few minutes, probably about 10 minutes after I've had my coffee and stuff. Okay. Well, as you can no doubt see, our money's dropped considerably. That's because we bit the bullet and we've bought that land, and so yeah, we'll get the sheep, so my money's probably going to drop quite a bit. So I might not just end on this contract after all. I may do another contract after this or two. As you can see, it's going to clear up in a little bit, well, in the next few hours. So hopefully tomorrow is going to be a nice day. We'll get potatoes harvested, and we'll see what price they're going for as well, and we'll try and get them sold. And we're going to have to look out for some nice fertilising contracts. I think it's the quickest way to make a bit of money, I think. Oh, the bullet has been bitten. So yeah, tomorrow spoke to the animal dealership as well to organise getting some sheep tomorrow, and so that will be done as well. They're going to come in the morning, put in the troughs for the feed and the water first of all, and then later on they will sort out getting them transported down there. They'll probably give me the trailer and I'll just go and pick them up. So there we go. Now I'm going to have to, oh, maybe I did I forget to actually choose accept equipment for that? I possibly did. Oops. In which case we may be cancelling it and taking on that nice fertilising contract down there instead, and heading all the way back down to the farm. Oops. I mean, there's a good harvesting one there too, but of course it's not, I definitely, oh well, I can't, it won't be there now. Yeah, oops. It happens. I'm not used to, you know, accepting contracts for which, you know, like ploughing and fertilising, which I've already got stuff for. Ah, well, as I say, what I was planning on doing, the reason I picked it was to try and get hold of a sprayer for the weeds in my potatoes, but it's too late for that, and as I said, I don't think it would have worked. But fertilising contracts paying out more, and it'll be much quicker as well, so we will go do that. And where are we actually going? Okay, oh, that's just, okay, here we go. Field 13, and where are you, field 13? You look to be a not bad size field. Alright, okay, it's right up there, so we'll probably quickest way to head up round this way and up, I would think. Right, fill this up, we'll take that and go and head up to, the field yet, field 13. And we will see you up there. Okay, so that's field 13 finished. We saw a contract coming up on, now was it field 19, which is relatively close to where we are, and we should have enough fertilizer left to do that. Let's have a quick look at the big map, because where are we? So 13, so 19 is just along here, so I might go past 15 and cut down that way. So there we are. I'm up over 100,000 again, so I'm quite happy, and the taxmen will be quite happy. Tax people, yeah, happy. I would hope. Tree field. This is me trying to look at my GPS and not actually look at the road in front of me. Right, here we go. This is field 19 here. So we'll make a start on this, I think. We should have enough fertilizer left. I'll have a look, see what other, probably should have gone over a little bit more. Just to nothing else, get a bit more coverage, that's better. So, yeah, we'll get this field done, and then we'll have a look to see, because it's still daylight, we'll have a look in a minute to see what other contracts are going to come up. Put the sat nav off now. So it's all good. Quite excited actually about the idea of getting the sheep. I'm wondering if I should, I mean at some point I think if I'm going to be giving them hay and even grass, you know, it's far easier for me to put it into bales, but again that'll depend on what route we decide to take the farm in the future, because at the moment I'm only having to feed them every few days, whereas if we take the other route that we've, and what is this now? Am I on episode 8 or 9? I can't remember as I'm recording this, so yeah, a decision may have been made, but until the horsey gets up to where he needs to be, we'll carry on like this anyway, so at least another 2 to 3 episodes in this way, and then we'll look to see what the viewing public have opted for. Okay, let's have a look at the contracts. Ploughing, no. There's another fertilising one there. Too big. harvesting we can't do, of course, it's raining. I would do these, either of these, to be fair, if it was dry enough. But instead, I don't want to do sewing. At the moment, it takes a bit long, so I might just do these. They're still here by the time I finish this one and possibly this one, the small fertilising contracts. And then we'll call it a day in terms of what we're planning in terms of work. So, you know, 'cause it's just been quite miserable for much of it. And I just want to go home, put my feet up, read a good book, maybe watch a little bit of TV, listen to some music, you know, just the usual things that people like to do. And it's after 6. We'll have a late tea as usual. I really should start to try and stop and have tea at a reasonable time, because normally by the time I'm having dinner it's quite late in the evening, and yeah, I'm pretty hungry by then. So I'm gonna have to start thinking about, you know, I mean technically I should stop after this contract and go and eat, but I'm thinking that's only 2 small more fields to go, and so it'd be good to get them done. So yeah, okay, we will see you shortly, because I'm not going to make you watch the whole of this field being done. Okay, I just realised I was speaking away there and nobody heard me. I think what I was saying was that I'm going to do this contract, and there's ones come up in field 10, and I'm about to go and do this because it's just right next door, and then I'm going to call it quits. But I'm also ending the recording at this point, and so I think pretty much out of time. So once again, because I've said this already, and of course nobody heard it, I thank you for watching, and I hope that you'll come back and watch some more tomorrow, or whenever the next video goes out. You never know what happens in life nowadays. So bye for now, everybody.